For the ADCS, the satellite usually have like default sampling.
Yes, so default you will use the what? You will use the whole orbit data. So you will use, even ADCS has this part. So ADCS can get what all the time. If you don't do anything, it's recording this one. And if you ask for it, you can get the higher resolution.
So usually it already record.
Yeah, but this one is like a 1 hertz. And this one is, I don't know really, it's just bigger, more than 1 hertz. And nobody over there, can you see it? Probably not. But, yeah, so everything is recorded at 1 second throughout, for 2 weeks from whatever satellite is doing. Everything, most of it. I mean, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to promise everything. I don't really know the details. But for ADCS, sometimes it's really critical and the algorithms change really fast. 1 second is not enough. So you can ask for it first. We usually run this for 5 minutes. It's really, if you really want to know what the satellite is really doing right now. We started, actually we can see here because when we started, you can specify for how long. And there's a maximum. I think it's 30 minutes, not really sure. But there's a maximum time you can run. Oh, the start resolution is 1 x. Okay. So then I got this one.
So the VOD is more than this is. I understand one first.
This is wrong. Sorry for that.
Oh, okay.
I got the numbers wrong. So this is 1 hertz then. And this is less than 1 hertz.
So you got the ADCS data from the satellite, from which sensor?
Yeah, there are many satellites. I think Google also covered it on Monday. There are many satellites part of the ADCS.
For our satellite?
Yeah, from your satellite, so you're going to have wheels that help pointing the satellite. You're going to have a sun sensor, I believe, so you can detect where the sun is. Some satellites have a star tracker, so you can find the stars in the universe. Mm-hmm. You also have magnetometers, which measure the Earth's magnetometer field. Mm-hmm. I think that's mostly it.
So those sensors will collect the data from the satellite at that moment, and then put input into the main CPU, and then readjust itself, or not?
What do you mean?
Like adjust itself into the like the orbit that it's supposed to be, and the pointing is supposed to be. It's yes. Automatic, or we have to control that?
Yes, so the ADCS, so there's 2 things here, like you're mentioning. So first there's the estimation mode in ADCS. Right. Estimation means where am I? What is the satellite doing? So it uses all the sensors I mentioned. It uses the sun, could use the stars if it has. It uses the magnetometer to feel the magnetic field of the Earth. And that's how he is right now. And then there's the second part you're mentioning now, which is the control mode. Mm-hmm. So there are algorithms, known, published algorithms for ADCS. We use some of them. And as an operator, you can change those algorithms. It's something that we do during LEOPS and commissioning. But during normal operations, it should be stable. The satellite knows which algorithm to use, and it does it by itself.
Okay. Do we input information from NORAD? You know, if the NORAD, the TLE is not matched with what satellite thing it is, when these 2 doesn't match, do we need to correct or
orbit correction?
Or which one has more priority? You know what I mean? Like you have information of the satellite from the satellite itself, and then you have the information from NORAD. And these 2, it doesn't match, which I think sometimes should happen sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen. The ground, so the things from NORAD are better. Because NORAD, in case Space Command, uses radars to detect where the satellite is. And there are way better algorithms and way better sensors than what we can put in a little satellite.
So do we have to manually adjust, or you as an operator, or can be fixed throughout the system?
So it's something we're going to do practice today or tomorrow. every day what we do is upload to the satellite the latest TLEs from NORAD.
And the TLE has more priority. And
Then what the satellite thinks, yes. Because the satellite is small, it can, so the algorithms in the satellite are not good enough due to the size and the power of the satellite. There's no batteries of 2 kilos. It does not have power to keep track for long. So for a day or two, it's good. And then after that, the error increases. I'm not sure, are you familiar in terms of control and algorithms? Over time, the error will increase. So the best information, as you're mentioning, is what comes from NORAD, is from the Space Command, because these radars, they have on the ground really great tools and really great equipment, and they can really tell where your satellite is. Also because they're interested to know in terms of collisions. That's another point we'll cover on Friday.
So we have to update the latest information
Which is done here.
from NORAD to the satellite.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll work on that. You can push the new TLEs, so the new 2-line elements, every day, every 2 days, and during daily operations. Sometimes we just do every 3 days. Just not wait a month for it, let's say, because then the errors in the satellite increase. But that's part of the standard procedure. Besides what everything you need to do, you update that information in the satellite.
How often we need to update the TLE to make the satellite in a good position or good?
Yeah, that's you usually get new TLEs from NORAD. They generate a new one every 2 days. It's not critical that you really need to do it every 2 days. Sometimes we don't do it over the weekend, let's say. So the satellite stays with the same every 3 days. I don't really know numbers. You don't really need to do it every day, every 2 days. During layup and commissioning, we'll do it very often. Sometimes we have a colleague that can generate TLEs based on other types of sources of information, and we'll update it even every 2 hours, because in the beginning the satellite is very unstable, or it moves around, or we don't really know where it is. So in the beginning we do it a lot, but then you just do it when you need. If it stays even 1 week, if you guys go on holidays for August, it might not get away in any case. It's good housekeeping measure to just keep doing it. More information, if not drifting, we can ask Google. You might have one.
So the NORAD information, they know the position quite good, but the spinning and the rotation that cannot be done from NORAD.
Correct. So that's based on the satellite only. So those algorithms are part of the ADCS, it's part of the ADCS estimation mode. So it's something that we also pay attention in the beginning, as Ugo is going to explain in terms of LEOP. The first thing we do with the satellite is putting it to spinning in a way we know. So usually we put it to spinning like this. It's the Earth, it moves like this. We put it to spin like this. Because it's not like you can send a satellite up, which is a box, a shoebox, like some people say on the internet, and it just goes to the right place. There's a lot of shifting and there's a lot of movement. So first we say, okay, first try this, and when you're stable like this, and we point it down. And all this needs to be monitored, and it's just the satellite knows its spinning rate. That's true. We use the ADCS algorithms, and it's only from the satellite. But it's not just also one source. So you use, to compute that spinning rate, it uses the Earth magnetic field, it uses the sun sensor if need be, it uses gyroscopes. So all that information comes together into the famous Kalman filter, and that's how the satellite knows. More questions?
In terms of satellite collision, like how are you concerned about this?
Collisions. So in terms of collisions, NORAD and the US Space Command are really aware of that. If something is really important to them, so they will tell you if something will happen. What happens is you will discuss that also when the satellite is handed over from us to you. Who or which contact person is going to be from a part of, or contact persons in Air Force are going to handle that. So in the case of a probable collision, you'll get a contact, usually email, say, from the Space Command, so from the US, and they say, well, your satellite has this chance of collision with something else. We have gotten, I think, 2 warnings in the last 2 years. so it's not something that happens really often. And this is a probability of collision. So they say there's a 70% probability of collision. We never had a collision actually.
So what you're gonna do after you get to that one? You cannot.
You cannot. That's right. You can pay more attention. You'll be in the next day, or usually if it's overnight, or you know when it is, you just are aware that your satellite actually might not be there. So you, for instance, you put more people on doing operations. You have your engineers ready if you need to change stuff. A collision you cannot avoid.
So we have to bet the other guy to avoid.
Yes, yes. Well, they usually do. I mean, if the other satellite is a big one that has propulsion, they can change their orbit. But any CubeSat does not have propulsion. Many of the CubeSats do not have propulsion. So if the other guy is also a CubeSat, we need to consider it's really, they always warn, I'm not sure what the probability they use to warn, but the probability, they say like 70% or something. Well, oh, they also say like how far away they're going from each other. I think one day we had 10 meters apart, which was really close. And then it was all fine. So it's very unlikely. But there will be, they do want, Space Command does want a contact person in case they find that, so they can contact. In the beginning, the really open commission will most likely be us, but that's to be discussed, and then it will be handed over to whoever we decide. Yeah? Oh, he's gone.
Amateur satellite.
So we've covered most of the specific ADCS commands. There are going to come up other ADCS commands a little later on. And now we have some loose options. We have here ARM disarm platform. This is probably something you'll never do. So as you see here down the description, every flight parameter has a description. In this case, it says arm or disarm the platform I received for flight by setting the first Putin space flag. So this command is a one-time thing. Most likely we'll actually agree on taking this one out, so nobody makes a mistake.